Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to It's Review Time Part 2. As I promised, I will journey with you in your quest to pass the licensure examination for teachers. I will share with you my experience and knowledge in science, having taught science for over 20 years and being a registered microbiologist and licensed professional teacher. This series of review materials will help you increase the chance of passing and also train you to manage time. Explanation for each item is given after the last question. Some of the questions here are actual questions given in previous Let's. Our review materials for this time come from the field of biological science, specifically ecology. But if you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing and hit that notification bell so you will be notified of our new uploads. Number 1 question. What factor in a tropical rainforest would the understory trees and shrubs be most deprived of? A. Water. B. Soil. C. Salts. D. Light. The correct answer is D. Light. Number 2 question. Where do we classify the relationship that exists between termites and Trichonympha or the protist living in their gut? A. Commensalism. B. Competition. C. Mutualism. And D. Parasitism. The correct answer is C. Mutualism. Number 3 question. How can the niche of an organism be affected by its habitat? A. They are the same. B. Habitat is where the organism lives. C. Habitat has no effect to the niche of the organism. D. Factors in the habitat will define the niche of the organism. The correct answer is D. Factors in the habitat will define the niche of the organism. Number 4 question. What will happen to the organisms of the second trophic level if the third trophic level is eliminated? A. Die. B. Diminish in number. C. Increase in number. D. Occupy the trophic level. The correct answer is C. Increase in number. Number 5 question. Which of the following is a natural ecosystem? A. Fish pond. B. Lawn. C. Mangrove forest. D. Rice paddy. The correct answer is C. Mangrove forest. Number 6 question. Which of the following exhibits genuine symbiosis? A. Grass and man. B. Lichen. C. Seal and penguin. D. Whale and shark. The correct answer is B. Lichen. Number 7 question. Managed ecosystems are those that are artificially put up and maintained by man. Which of the following is not considered as managed ecosystem? A. Baguio Botanical Garden. B. Manila Ocean Park. C. Mount Mayon National Park. And D. d.Zoobic Safari. The correct answer is C. Mount Mayon National Park. Number 8 question. Which of the following can be considered as ecotone? A. Desert. B. Ocean. C. Savanna. D. Tropical rainforest. The correct answer is C. Savanna. Number 9 question. Temperature is an example of blank factors responsible for shaping the ecosystem. A. Biotic. B. Abiotic. C. Man-made. D. Artificial. The correct answer is B. Abiotic. Number 10 question. According to many scientists, there is a significant increase in the area being converted to desert. This may be due to increasing water loss, residential area expansion, and other disturbances related to global warming. What do you call the process of desert formation? A. Acidification. B. Desertification. D. Humidification. And D. Habitat destruction. The correct answer is desertification. Number 11 question. Which of the following would have the least amount of energy received based on its trophic position? A. Snake. B. Rabbit. C. Grass. D. Eagle. The correct answer is D. Eagle. Number 12 question. Under what relationship can you classify that of a man and ascaris in the human gut? A. Commensalism. B. Mutualism. C. Parasitism. D. Predation. The correct answer is C. Parasitism. Number 13 question. Where can you find the final consumer in the energy pyramid? A. Apex. B. Base. C. Middle portion. D. They are not classified. The correct answer is A. Apex. Number 14 question. In a tropical rainforest, where would you find the greatest number of shade-tolerant trees? A. Canopy. B. Emergent canopy. C. Understory. D. Forest floor. The correct answer is C. Understory. Number 15 question. Which type of ecosystem would have the lowest primary productivity per square meter? A. A seagrass bed. B. A deep ocean floor. C. A tropical rainforest. And A. A grassland. The correct answer is B. A deep ocean floor. Number 16 question. What is another name for primary consumer? A. Autotroph. B. Herbivore. C. Detritivore. D. Carnivore. The correct answer is B. Herbivore. Number 17 question. Which natural disturbance changes the most the landscape and species diversity in a forest? A. Forest fire. B. Flood. C. Strong winds. D. Earthquake. The correct answer is A, forest fire. Number 18 question. It is known to be the coldest of all the terrestrial biomes, with the least biodiversity capacity and has very little rain with freezing temperatures and covers about a fifth of the Earth's land surface. A, temperate deciduous forest. B, desert. C, savanna. D, tundra. The correct answer is D, tundra. Number 19 question. All of the following are ways we can protect the biosphere, except A, recycling. B, protecting waterways from the dumping of illegal chemicals. B, burning fossil fuels. D, decreasing the process of deforestation. The correct answer is C, burning of fossil fuels. Number 20 question. Aside from algal blooms, which is another aquaculture problem that may result in decline of fish population? A, eutrophication. B, desalination. C, desertification. And D, deforestation. The correct answer is A, eutrophication. Now let us go into explanation of the answers. For number 1 question, what factor in a tropical rainforest would the understory trees and shrubs be most deprived of? Our answer here is light. Less light penetrates through the understory layer of the tropical rainforest. This is because the canopy tends to cover the succeeding layers. The light penetrates only through a small gap between the leaves of the canopy, just like what is portrayed in this picture. Water, soil, and salts are not correct because these will not vary in the different strata of forest. Trees are anchored on the same soil where water and salts are obtained. The availability of these materials is equal among all trees, and the variation will depend on the utilization of trees and not on the stratum. Okay. Number 2 question, where do we classify the relationship that exists between termites and Trichonympha living in their gut? Our answer here is C, mutualism. Mutualism is a symbiotic relationship where both members are benefited. The termites serve as the habitat for Trichonympha, and in return, the protists help termites to digest wood and derive nutrients from it. That is why it's a mutualistic relationship. Other choices are commensalism. This one exhibits a relationship where one benefited but the other is not harmed, but it also doesn't benefit. Competition is a negative interaction where both parties will harm each other. Parasitism is a relationship where one member derives benefit from the other, harming that member. For the number 3 question, how can the niche of an organism be affected by its habitat? Our answer here is D. Factors in the habitat will define the niche of the organism. Both physical and biological factors in the environment will characterize the habits or behavior of the organism, which eventually will define the role of the organism. So that is how the factors in the environment will affect the niche of an organism in a particular ecosystem. For choice A, habitat, that is not the same as the niche. This one, the niche refers to the role of the organism, while habitat is where the organism lives. Choice B, it is merely defining habitat but does not explain how it affects niche. And C, it is a false claim since niche would greatly depend on the habitat of the organism. What will happen to the organisms of the second trophic level if the third trophic level is eliminated? Our answer here is increase in number. The organisms in the trophic level will increase as their predator is eliminated and they continuously reproduce. Choices A and B, the death or decline in number of the organism in the trophic level has nothing to do with their predator being eliminated. And choice D, an organism could not just shift from one trophic level to another. The natural diet of the organisms should be considered, and the carnivores, which occupy the third trophic level, could not just become herbivores or occupy the second trophic level if it is not their nature. For number 5 question, which of the following is a natural ecosystem? Our answer here is mangrove forest. Natural ecosystem is a community of living and non-living organisms where each component interacts together as a unit through biological, physical, and chemical processes. A mangrove forest has distinctiveness of natural ecosystem as they are purely natural and their formation are not in a way influenced by human activity, except probably the mangrove plantation. But this is not what we are talking about here. Fish pond, lawn, and rice paddy are all made by human. Number 6 question. Which of the following exhibits a genuine symbiosis? Our answer here is lichen. Lichen is not single organism. It is a stable symbiotic association within a fungus and algae or cyanobacteria. Like all fungi, lichen fungi requires carbon as a food source. This is provided by the symbiotic algae or cyanobacteria that are photosynthetic. Fungi contribute to the symbiosis by absorbing water vapor from the air and by providing much needed shade for the light-sensitive algae beneath. Just like what is shown in this figure, this is an example of lichen attached to a surface, and I think this one is a trunk of a tree. Number 7 question. Managed ecosystems are those that are artificially put up and maintained by men. Which of the following is not considered as managed ecosystem? Our answer here is Mount Mayon National Park. As we all know, the Mount Mayon National Park is not man-made ecosystem. The area of Mayon Volcano Natural Park is protected by virtue of Presidential Proclamation number 413 to protect the core area from poaching, invasive species, habitat loss, and other disturbances. Number 8. Which of the following can be considered as ecotone? Our answer here is C. Savanna. Ecotone is a transition area between two biological communities, where communities meet and integrate. Examples of ecotones include marshland, which is between dry and wet ecosystem, mangrove forest, which is between terrestrial and marine ecosystem, grassland, between desert and forest, estuaries, between saltwater and freshwater. Mountain ranges can also create ecotone due to the changes in the climate condition of slopes. Savanna can be considered geographic and environmental transition zones between the rainforest of equatorial regions and the deserts of the higher northern and southern latitudes. Number 9. Temperature is an example of blank factors responsible for shaping the ecosystem. Our answer here is B. Abiotic. Biotic and abiotic factors are two essential factors responsible for shaping the ecosystem. The biotic factors refer to all the living beings present in an ecosystem, such as plants, animals, and microorganisms, whereas The abiotic factors refer to all the non-living components like physical conditions, like temperature, pH, humidity, salinity, sunlight, and others. And chemical agents such as different gases and mineral nutrients present in the air, water, soil in an ecosystem. Therefore, both the abiotic and biotic resources affect survival and reproduction process. But in our question, we are asked what is temperature? So this is abiotic factor. Number 10 question. According to many scientists, there is a significant increase in the area being converted to desert. This may be due to increasing water loss, residential area expansion, and other disturbance. What do you call the process of desert formation? Our answer here is simply B, desertification. Desertification refers to persistent degradation of dryland ecosystems by climatic variation and human activities, such a result of failure to balance the ecosystem. Acidification, on the other hand, is a natural process by which the content of the soil becomes more acidic. Humidification is the process of increasing the moisture content of the air. And habitat destruction is when the natural habitat cannot support anymore the species living in it. The plant and animal populations are destroyed. Number 11 question. Which of the following would have the least amount of energy received based on its trophic position? Our answer here is eagle. Based on this food chain, energy decreases as it moves up trophic levels because energy is lost as metabolic heat when the organisms from one trophic level are consumed by organisms from the next level. And also, of course, the organism itself is also metabolizing and energy is also consumed during that process. In this picture in here, you see that we arrange this food chain as plants being the producer, and these plants eaten by the rabbit as the primary consumer, the rabbit eaten by snake as the secondary consumer, and the snake eaten by eagle. So as it moves up to the apex, there is a consequent loss of energy. So in return, eagle gets the least energy. Number 12 question. Under what relationship can you classify that of a man and ascaris in the human gut? Our answer here is parasitism. So the human ascaris is actually a parasite found in the gut of human being. So as we defined earlier, parasitism is one species lives on, in, or with the host species consuming the host. And that is what the ascaris does inside the human gut. On the other hand, other choices have different meanings. Commensalism, that's a one-sided symbiotic relationship. One benefits, the other doesn't, but not harm. Mutualism should have both parties benefited. Predation and herbivory, this is a relationship where one organism feeds on another. Number 13. Where can you find the final consumer in the energy pyramid? Our answer here is A, apex. Energy pyramids always show producers at the bottom, then herbivores, omnivores, and finally carnivores. Carnivores are at the top because they eat other consumers, as shown in this energy pyramid. So the third, the fourth, and the fifth places are occupied all by carnivores. Although you might be surprised that in some cases in food chain, omnivores may be put after the carnivores, but usually they are found at the apex of the food pyramid or energy pyramid. Number 14 question. In a tropical rainforest, where would you find the greatest number of shade-tolerant trees? Our answer here is Understory. Please take note that we are talking of shade-tolerant trees, not just shade-tolerant plants, but specifically trees. Understory receive little sunshine. The plants grow larger leaves to reach the sunlight. The plants seldom grow to 12 feet, as shown in this figure. Canopy is the second layer of the forest and forms a roof over the understory layer and forest floor. The emergent layer, on the other hand, that's where you can find the tallest trees, and they are growing to about 200 feet tall. Here, there is plentiful sunlight. Forest floor is very dark. Almost no trees grow in this area since hardly any sun reaches the forest floor. That is why our answer for that question is the understory, because we are talking of trees. Number 15 question. Which type of ecosystem would have the lowest primary productivity per square meter? Our answer here is a deep ocean floor. Primary productivity is the process by which organisms make their own food from inorganic sources. The majority of primary producers are photosynthetic, such as plants, and microbial life, such as algae. Seagrass bed, rainforest, and grasslands are areas of high photosynthetic activities. Therefore, primary productivity is high. On the other hand, deep sea floor has no sunlight penetrating into it, so photosynthesis is not possible. Chemosynthesis may be possible, but very low, giving the lowest primary productivity per square meter. What is another name for primary consumer? Our answer here is B, herbivore. Shown in this energy pyramid, you have the herbivore and the primary consumer in same level or same trophic level, occupying the second trophic level. Number 17. Which natural disturbance changes the most landscape and species diversity in forest? Our answer here is A, forest fire, as shown in this figure. So, when there is forest fire, you can expect ecological succession to occur. So, fire occurs, and then several changes in the dominating species will be occupying the area as it progresses towards the years. So, for example, in this figure, after 1 to 2 years, you will have the annual plants. 3 to 4 years, you will have the grasses and the perennials. 5 to 150 years, you will have the bigger plants, trees, etc. until you get to reach the climax community. So we call this ecological succession, changing the species and biodiversity in a particular landscape. Number 18. It is known to be the coldest of all the terrestrial biomes. Our answer here is tundra. Shown in this photo is a tundra. It has permafrost environment, meaning almost permanently frozen the whole year round. This one here is a desert, a hot biome. And this one here is a savanna. And here is the deciduous forest. Number 19. All of the following are ways that we can protect the biosphere, except our answer here is burning of fossil fuels. Burning of fossil fuels is one of those that contribute to pollution and also to greenhouse effect. On the other hand, the other choices are all positive, such as recycling and protecting the waterways and decreasing deforestation. Number 20 question. Aside from algal blooms, which is another aquaculture problem that may result in decline of fish population, Our answer here is eutrophication. So eutrophication is actually one of the contributing factors to algal bloom, which also causes fish population to decline. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned something from this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, and see you again in the next upload of review materials. Thank you and bye-bye.